talk of emotions is uncomfortable for most people, and that's okay. Let's talk about something more practical, how learning EQ could help your life. First, studies show that life satisfaction is directly related to EQ. In one study, they measured 75,000 people to see how their emotional intelligence related to their performance in life. Here's Joshua Friedman, a prominent researcher in the field of emotional intelligence.
This is a study that we just published of over 75,000 people around the world. What you see on the vertical axis is life performance scores. That includes personal things like well-being and health, happiness, and work things like performance and effectiveness. And what you can see across the bottom is emotional intelligence scores, and there's this incredible correlation between those things. You notice there's nobody in the top left corner, nobody with really high performance scores and low emotional intelligence scores. And there's nobody, almost nobody in the bottom right corner with really high emotional intelligence and low performance. These things are like height and weight. They move together. And the skills of emotional intelligence are learnable.
Second, studies show that the best decisions are made with a combination of EQ and IQ.
We've all had decisions that we've made based purely on emotions, and we've all made decisions based purely on logic. Usually these aren't the best decisions in our life. The best decisions actually combine our EQ with our IQ.
Finally, recall that toxic stress is primarily responsible for most of our negative thoughts and actions. It drastically affects our quality of life and even our lifespan. EQ is the foundation to healing toxic stress.
So, when I was growing up, I was a pretty emotionally attuned kid. I could feel emotions of others. But when I was a teenager, my parents separated, and I felt this hardening, like this literal shell come over me, and it kept me from feeling. And I began to think of feelings as something weak and something to be ignored or hidden. And what was really happening was I was just accumulating this toxic stress. And it certainly affected my life. So in my professional relationships or personal relationships, they were shallow, they weren't deep. Things would often bore me. I had low trust in people. And it really wasn't until I started working on my own EQ that I could start to cure this toxic stress. And that's when things really began to change for the better.
So now that we know what EQ is and how important it is, how do we build it?
Importantly, EQ isn't something you're born with. It's a skill that you learn. EQ takes practice.
In the following lessons, we'll learn how to grow our EQ in science-proven ways.